currently on, are you part of our exclusive Facebook group? Rock University's exclusive Facebook group? If you are not, let me grab the link. Make sure you get added into that. We just surpassed 300 members, which is super exciting, but this is really an exclusive group that anything new happening with Rock University, trainings, Rock Title, in the industry, things like that, I'm really gonna post here first. So if you are not part of that group, go ahead and ask to join. I just put the link in the chat box, so you can get in there. But before we jump in, I'm gonna talk about our new VIP All Access portal that we just launched this morning with some updates. We got learning assets in there and things like that I'll go over. But really anything new and exciting that's gonna happen with Rock University or trainings in general. Did I just get one? I did. Actually, I have 48 requests, so we're gonna, that one was good. I'll get the rest of those in a bit. But anything new is gonna be exclusively posted there first before it goes out in an email blast or public social media platforms and things like that. We really wanna give you guys the insight on everything new. So about a minute past, I'm gonna give it one more minute and then we're gonna jump in to farming. Next week, I believe we have list reports. Let's scroll down here. Yep, list reports, awesome tool. Incorporate that into your marketing and business. A lot of automation there, beautiful designs. So that'll be next week. We got lead converting mailers, reviews, how to master your CRM, which we're going to talk a little bit about today. Kind of goes hand in hand with farming in terms of priorities. I am still working on finalizing the for July and August trainings. So my goal is the end of this week to get that solidified and posted. I'm just waiting on a couple. I have an amazing real estate coach that I want to have part of one of our trainings in July. So we're solidifying that. And then we have a LinkedIn expert that I have for July. We have a social media expert that's going to talk to us about the new Instagram and the best way to capitalize that to get more referrals. So I'm trying to get a few of them signed on here. Cool, so we're gonna continue to have people jumping on. I'll just, like usual, go in and get them added in as we move along here. But if you haven't been on one of these trainings before, welcome to Rock University, sponsored by Rock Title. My name is Justin Taylor. I am the Business Development and Training Executive for Rock Title, both Arizona and Nevada. We are expanding nationally. We actually are opening in Indiana next. We have we're going into Indiana and then of course other states as we move along there, but we are expanding nationally. We have several offices in Arizona that are new offices even that are opening, and of course several offices in the Las Vegas market. So very exciting growth and news to come for that. Admit these people, but before we dive into the farming, I just want to talk about I sent the link in there for the exclusive Facebook group. They got notified of this morning, but the enhanced Rock University platform that we released today. So this used to say access video library. That's now been updated to the VIP all access. A little bit of a different experience, fresh look, a little bit easier to navigate, and a lot more resources and tools. So I'll dive into that, but just know that those two items there are, you can, if you've already had a login, the same login will work. Okay, so nothing there has changed. It's just the name's changed and we've added a lot more resources. So you can either get there through this button or just a navigation. So I'm gonna go ahead and click that. And of course, you can always sign up there for free. There's no thing. There is just a slight approval process just to make sure that you are who you are. So that shouldn't take very long. But once you're on there, just log in. And we're going to go back and forth through this, through the training today, because there are some resources here that you can go and access for the farming. So as you scroll down, right, VIP All Access. So we have a quick access bar here. If you wanted to just jump to any of these, you can. Marketing resources, so you write down there. You're going to see that it looks a little different, a little bit more fresh. So something new we have every month, we're going to have learning assets, which essentially are things like Facebook posts, story posts, social media posts, things like that, that are going to be available for you. So you can come in here under June, next month, of course, July, August, these will always be updated. So you have your Facebook post. If you click this, Canva is free, so you can sign up for free. Move these over into your Canva, and you're going to have all these different social media posts that you just throw in your photo and information, and then you can get posted. Okay, kind of like done for you almost. So there's the post that'll work for Instagram and Facebook, and then there's stories as well. So you can download those. They're essentially the same as the post, but they're sized for your Instagram and Facebook stories. So you can, of course, get those. We have some more Canva training. If you wanted to, you could click there and get a little bit more Canva training. June newsletters. So every month there'd be a June newsletter, July newsletter. Some of you may have remembered me mentioning this prior. That I wanted to make sure that we got a newsletter out there for you guys. So we have the June one, both for Arizona and Nevada. So if you click this, click that link, you can copy it into your Canva and then be able to get this 2-page newsletter all branded to you that you can send in an email. You can print and send to your database, past clients, have open houses, whatever you'd like to do with that. So those will be updated every month. Nevada, this should be done by the end of the evening. There's some last few things I got to do there, but it is coming for you. Just look out for that. Mailers, we're going to talk a little bit more about in the farming, but these are done for you. Mailers ready to go. Okay. Can be all branded to you. We talk about QR codes and call to actions and things like that today. You can always go there and add those into your Canva. Listing packet. We did a listing packet class with a template that you can update and customize to you. So you can always get that there. Altos, market reports, and property profile bundles are always available for your listings as well. Of course, the exclusive video library. So all of our recordings or trainings are recorded and put here. It's better user experience. It's way easier to go through and click on these and watch the videos and things like that. So much better experience here. And then at the bottom, we'll always be updating these marketing resources. We have our buyer seller guides, our relocation guide that you can get and download. I put in all tourism and local content sites that I use in my marketing that I recommend: events, hiking, restaurants, dining, anything local you can get from these sites. Get ideas to post on social, newsletters, things like that. And that's available in both states. Okay. And then general resources, I always talk about Pexels and Unsplash, so I put that there. These will be updated periodically. The QR code monkey generator link there, if you ever forget that, you can come to Rock University and grab that. And then HomeBot is something we're going to talk about today, which I've talked about in the past. You can always come here and learn more about that as well. So a little bit of a facelift, if you will, on this back end that will offer you a lot more resources and tools that you can do. High quality, easy to do resources there. So I know I'm getting some notifications right now. I'll make sure you guys get approved by the end of this training so you can get access to that. Again, that is the new VIP All Access. It used to just say Access Video Library. We went in and enhanced that so you can always access it that way. Cool. I am going to go ahead and jump into our slide deck and we'll go through farming. Hey, Kathy. Awesome, guys. Let me just make sure there's no one pending. Cool. All right, so we're going to talk about farming like a rock star. So a lot of you have heard farming before: geographic farming, real estate farming. Essentially, it's taking a geographic location or area and marketing to it on a consistent basis as the hub for everything real estate related. Local community, always in communication with them. You are the go-to person for that area or community. We just went over the New Rock University updates there. So what is geographic farming? Geographic farming is one of the most powerful ways to grow and maintain a successful real estate business. It allows you to establish your brand and centralize your listings and sales in one geographic area. So what's great about geographic farming is if you want to be in real estate long-term, you really have to position yourself as a listing agent, okay? Geographic farming is a great way to ensure that you have a consistent flow of listing leads coming in. Now, it doesn't happen overnight, okay? This is something that you have to commit to over the long term, but as you do and add to it, right? You get to sell in an area, take some of that commission and marketing dollars and reinvest it into your farm. It's absolutely critical to be able to scale this to a level to where you don't really have to generate any business anywhere else. This is a massive tool that you can do to generate listing leads. There's an agent I know in San Diego, different market, right, than in Arizona or Vegas, but they started farming. I started at 3,000, which was, this is a team that was already successful. So starting at 3,000 is a hefty amount. I'm going to be telling you to start at a much lower one today, but they started at 3,000. They now market to over 35,000 homes in a geographic area. 35,000 homes. Can you imagine the mailing and postage on that? It's amazing. But they do bring in $2.5 to $3 million a year GCI just from that farm. So the marketing dollars are there and it works. And they started small, and over time, they didn't go from 3,000 to 35,000 overnight or even in a year. That took 3 to 5 years to be able to develop that. But as you can see, in a long period of time, really not that long, they were able to scale that farm in an amazing way. So much like an actual farmer, your goal is to plant seeds, nurture those seeds, and then reap the rewards. If you've tried to buy leads or get leads from another source, you may have found the leads to be stale, not your market, or just plain fake, right? We've all seen that with internet leads and things. Real estate farming allows you to operate your own strategy and create, capture, and profit off your own leads. Has anybody tried farming? You can unmute yourself, chat. Or maybe you sent one postcard and then, you know, it just goes.
I've done door knocking with flyers, like community events for, you know, the month of May or whatever. I did that for about 3 months.
Nice.
Or the last 3 months, I mean, yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. And we're going to talk about that too, door knocking. That's what we call sweat equity, which is amazing, right? Because this is an investment, but not only just money investment, it's time investment as well. So especially here in the summer months, you know, we might mail during the summer months and door knock and do community stuff during the cooler months. But that's a great point, Kathy, that door knocking is definitely a great way to farm as well. Gary's farm, Tina's farm, Deanna, yep, works well over time, absolutely. So choosing your ROCSTAR farm. So you hear about turnover rates all the time. There's tons of different numbers out there. It depends on market, things like that. But in general, you definitely want to look for turnover rates that are 6% or higher. 6 to 8% would be great. Anything above that obviously is much better. Anything below that, you want to make sure that where you're spending your time and dollars makes sense on your ROI. Okay, you want to stretch that dollar as far as possible. Now, turnover rates, right, over the last few years or when the inventory has been super low might be skewed a little bit over the last 12 months or so, okay? So you want to study historical data of the previous 5 years. Look at trends. Where has that data been? So you're going to go back into the MLS and you're going to pull a certain area of wherever that where you live, that you're familiar with, that you like, or price range that you want to be in. You really want to choose a farm that um, you're going to enjoy, right? If you hate condos, don't farm condos. If you hate a certain area or because the HOA or things like that, like you want to stay clear of that. You really want to farm things that you enjoy. So when I was selling, I farmed high rises here in Phoenix. I love high rise living. I love that lifestyle. You feel like you're on vacation all the time. So, and it was easy because you could easily farm to those. However, to Kathy's point, I couldn't door knock, right? You can't door knock vertical. It's a little difficult. So if you have a subdivision, that's much easier to door knock, people out walking, dogs, park, thing like that. So those are great ways to do that. The disadvantage for the high rises is I wasn't able to do that. We still did community events and things like that. But you want to choose a farm, whether you live or an area that you really know or love. Okay, and you want to take that and you want to look at the previous historical data, not just the previous 12 months. And we're going to talk about how you pull your turnover rate, but essentially you're going to pull the previous 12 months or more, how many homes have sold, and you're going to do some math of how many homes are in that subdivision or community. And I'll show you that formula. So as I was saying earlier, that one team that I was talking about started at 3,000. My recommendation is starting between 250 and 500 homes, okay? Because the reason is you have to be able to commit to this for at least 12 months, okay? This isn't a get rich quick thing. This is a business strategy. This is a business plan, right? That you have to stick to and nurture over a longer period of time. Now you may get leads and listings in a much shorter period of time. However, when we talk about budget and things like that, I really want you guys to sit down and think about what that cost is for the amount of homes that you're going to start with, what that cost is on a monthly basis across 12 months. And not just financial cost, right? Of course, there's printing, if you do community events, designs, things like that, delivery, postage, that of course costs money, but like what Kathy was doing, also sweat equity. You're gonna door knock, you're gonna drop things off, you're gonna walk the neighborhood. Maybe you're doing open houses. If there's opportunity to do open houses, for sure do open houses. You got to be in the community, be present, so that you can be that established brand. So as I put down here, you have to establish yourself as a trusted brand in a marketplace where you become the agent of choice. You have to connect to this community, which is why it's so critical that you choose a community or an area that you enjoy. Okay, maybe it's great school districts, great areas. Maybe there's a park, an amazing park next to it that's busy all the time. And in the future will allow you to do cool community events like, summertime, an ice cream truck, things like that. Okay. So calculating your turnover rate. So, right, you want at least 6% for it to make sense. And your Rock Title sales executive can always help you determine this. Inventory is calculated by dividing the number of homes that sold in that area in the previous 12 months by the total number of homes in that farm. And this is data, of course, that you can get from your MLS. So if we had 16 homes that sold in a farm of 250, we have a turnover rate of 6.4%. It's pretty healthy, right? You don't want to market or spend money or time in a farm where nobody moves. You will be the brand of choice. You will be present there. However, you will never sell a house there if nothing ever sells. Maybe you get some referrals from it, but you really want to look at the numbers and make sure that it makes sense business-wise for you to kind of go in and penetrate that market. So to be a successful farmer, you must commit to an area and understand that it's a marathon and not a sprint. Any questions on turnover rates? Again, it will fluctuate between markets slightly. However, the general consensus is 6% is a healthy turnover rate that you should start with. So budget. We've talked a little bit about sweat equity or check equity. So are you going to build a sweat equity or pay the check equity? Either way, you must plan out exactly what it will cost, both in dollars and time. So budget so you are able to market to each home in your farm at least 3 times per month for the first 3 months, then 2 times per month. Okay, we're farming like a rock star. And again, this isn't necessarily mailers being sent through the mail, paying postage. Maybe it's walking the farm or door knocking 2 times, and then 1 is a actual mailer that's going inside the mail. Or if it's a non-gated community, I've had these hand delivered. There's companies out there that will hand deliver these to each door. We've all had it happen, like on our door, there's things like there. If it's non-gated, they will do it. If it's certain things that they, stipulations, of course, like city ordinances, I think surprise is one where it can't happen. But in the general consensus, there are companies out there that you can have these hand delivered for much cheaper than what it is to send in the mail. I think there's even down to 12 cents a door. So it's pretty cheap. The average I was paying was like 18 cents. But so just know to bring your presence to kind of speed up that process 3 times per month for the first 3 months, and then 2 times per month after that. One could be a door knock or just a drop off. The other can be sent through the mail. So of course you want to commit to your farm for a minimum of 12 months. And make a plan or a calendar so you can walk your farm, door knock during cooler months, and mail more heavily during warmer months. Okay, so you kind of plan that out. Essentially, you must outwork and outservice competition to succeed. Okay, it's the difference between successful agents and not so successful agents is the successful ones outwork and outservice clients and communities. So strategy to dominate like a rock star. So this is a strategy that a lot of top successful farmers have used. I've done quite a bit of research on this. So this is recommendation: 3 pieces per month for the first 3 months, which is what we talked about. So door knocking, direct mail, things like that. Maybe you're doing an open house, and one of those pieces is inviting them to that open house. That could count as 1, right? Sweat equity. And then a quarterly newsletter. So you can send out a quarterly newsletter. This could be even the Altos market report that we offer, right? You could pull that for that zip code or county and have that as a newsletter and sent out, all branded to you. And then of course, after that 90 days or 3 months, you go to 2 pieces per month. All marketing leads back to seller conversion page. So QR codes work great for this, meaning that there's services that use QR codes heavily, like CoreFact, which we'll talk about. CoreFact is a great mailer and farming tool. It has a seller lead generation property valuation. I can show you what that looks like on that end as well. But what that does is it allows them to scan a QR code with their phone, enter in their property address. It has most of the details already in there. And then it gives them a whole valuation that they can go in and change and things like that. Or you take the mailers that Rock University has already done, you replace that QR code with the QR code that links to your HomeBot, which is free through your lender. And it goes to that, and they enter in their property address, and that goes into your HomeBot. You get that lead, and then they can go in and change the toggles and see their property valuation and things like that. And then they get an email every single month automatically, all branded to you that way as well. So I always try to bring things that are cost effective, but work very well and are on trend with technology and marketing. And then have a landing page for your farm with a custom domain. So an example would be Desert Ridge is a community here in North Phoenix. I doubt this domain's even available, but I did it for an example. But it would be great to create a landing page on your website that's specific to your farm. So in these mailers and things like that, I would be a little bit more targeted. I wouldn't put my general website address on these. I would put a website address that's specific to a community. So say in North Scottsdale, there's a community called, let's go with Belisara. So I would buy a domain that would maybe say Belisara Home Values or Belisara Scottsdale Homes, something like that, that includes the community name or your farm that the homeowners can connect to. And on that landing page, you have information about local community, things that are happening, parks, events, current properties that are available that are for sale in there, properties that recently sold, market updates specific to that zip code, things like that. A form or a link that they can then click on, and it says, see what your Desert Ridge home is worth today. Click that button, goes to your home bot, things like that. It's a little bit technical, but it is a way to really show that you are the expert and realtor of choice in that community. And it really brands you as the expert for them. So strong call to action mailers, which is critical. So we've talked about the QR code. You always have to have some type of property valuation or some type of item where they have to do an action, right? Sending a mailer, I see these all the time, sending a mailer that just says, call me, or want a property valuation, call me, right? People don't necessarily call people anymore, right? With these advertisements. Got to get a little bit more creative or give them a reason to go on and fill out a form. Maybe the call to action isn't necessarily property valuation, but it's you put a one-page PDF together or flyer specific to that community with all the local events that are happening, or HOA information, or previous sales, things like that. And on call to action on that postcard or mailer or email is, find out more of what's happening in Desert Ridge or Belisara, wherever it is. Download this month's newsletter specific to that community. Okay, and it's all information specific to that community. The property valuation is always gold, like it just works and it's easy. So you can always do that. But to go back to the landing page setup, you can always turn that into a flyer per se and talk about everything local in that. And that could be a call to action as well for them to download this month's Belisara newsletter, something like that. Something to trigger them to the curiosity, not just, call me today. So again, on Rock University, we now have these mailers. And I'm just going to open, they're fun. Okay. They're colorful. They're eye catching. There's this one, call me for the scoop. Right. It says call me, but we have a QR code with a strong call to action. So if I scroll down, I see this here, see your property valuation, that could link to your home bots, things like that. This is all editable, so you can go in and change any of this information. So if you want your website to be specific to that community, you can do that. You want the verbiage to change, all this can be edited. Okay, you just go in and you change it. Maybe you change this to, download, or let's go Desert Ridge scoop, something like that, right? Specific to that community. Canva's free, remember, so make a Canva account if you don't have that yet. But you can go in and then copy these over, download it. They're 8.5 by 5.5, so the standard postcard that goes out for most mailers. You can come in here and create that QR code. So if I come over here, I opened up my home bot. I love using HomeBot right now. I'm obsessed, if you couldn't tell. It's such a great free seller lead gen tool that you can, have this landing page. It's all branded to you, very easy. These cost a lot of money to have on websites, so this is a great thing. Reach out to your lender if you don't have this yet. So I'm going to copy this link. We're going to go to that QR code. Pasting that link in there. I'm just going to leave it how it is. You can always customize this with colors and things like that. I'm making that the highest quality I can. Create QR code. download PNG. That's going to download for me. Just takes a second because it's a little bit higher quality. Okay, that's downloaded. I'm going back to my Canva. I drag and drop that in there. So that's how easy it is just to plop this in there. So that's just a random QR code for Rock University. This one's now specific to that property valuation landing page with HomeBot. I'm going to click, drag it over, hover over this, populates that in there. Now if we zoom in, I'm going to pull my phone out and show you. Open up here, goes to my branded thing. They enter in their home address. That gets generated to me as a lead, goes in the HomeBot. They get an email on the 15th of every month about their property, about building wealth, how they could take that equity and maybe purchase an investment property and things like that, all branded to you. That's how easy it is to create a QR code to add into here. The reason I say QR codes on mailers because I've used CoreFact, a service like CoreFact, quite a bit, and it is pretty amazing in terms of being able to generate leads. It's a little bit more expensive. When I say expensive, I mean like a few cents more per mailer than your typical, but that's because they're all pre-designed. All these postcards are pre-designed if you wanted to come and use this service. But once you have leads in here that start generating, you can see here, it starts to tell you who's gone in and registered. QR code scan. These are all consumers that scanned a QR code for their property valuation. It works. It works. So you can go in, you can even, if I click on this, I can click impersonate, and this is what it looks like on their end for CoreFact. Now, HomeBot, I still think is a lot better than this system. However, I just want to show you that the different systems that you can use, but this is what the consumer would see. Okay, Daniel and Amy, the owners, gives that. They can go through here, do that, sell for this price. It all goes back to you as the agent. But this is what they would see, comps, all that good stuff. So the point is QR codes you have to have a strong call to action, and QR codes are a great way to do that. So these mailers are all available on Rock University. There's 3 currently for June. I'm sure we're going to expand it even more as the months come, but you can always check out those there. Any questions on the templates or creating QR codes or call to actions? Has anybody seen that has already mailed? Have you used QR codes before? What call to actions have you used? Where have you seen success? Any feedback? It works. Try it. So examples of how you can stay connected. So how do you, what are the things that I can communicate, right? We can only talk about real estate so much, but there's several different things that you can do. Gary's used CoreFact with QR codes before. It's really a great service. It really is. So you can always send just sold listed postcards, new laws affecting real estate, something great to communicate with. I know here specifically in Arizona, we had the homestead law that was updated, which was not a great move for sellers. Kind of lost some protection there, but that is something great for you to be able to communicate, right? It affects them. You're bringing them value. You're going to be their go-to person. Market updates, right? That Altos market reports, those are beautiful. If you send a newsletter, maybe one side's a newsletter, the back side is literally just an Altos market report for that zip code, right? You can leave that with them if you're door knocking. Home valuation requests, which we just went over with a strong call to action. Holiday mailers, wishing them a great holiday. Yeah, I'll include the link for HomeBot in there so you can learn more. It's a lender tool, but you can look at a demo and see how it works and all that good stuff. If you don't work with a lender, reach out to your sales executive at Rock Title. We know tons of lenders that we can connect you with. But if you are working with a lender with HomeBot, I definitely would start using it. But I will include the website for you, definitely. Holiday mailers, right? That's an easy one. There's at least a holiday every month, so you can always do that. Lifestyle feature updates, like surrounding schools, restaurants, hiking, new businesses in the area. Those are all great. Maybe one of the mailers is if it's a new restaurant or business that is in that community or by that community, you go in and take a photo in front of the building, something like that. And then you can add that photo into the newsletter or the mailer that you are door knocking with. Again, really positions you as the local expert for that community. And then of course, community events that you can hold. Okay, so as you get going or as you reinvest into your business, there's things you can do like a spring cleaning day, maybe a big dumpster comes, or there's a shredding event, or I've seen Easter egg hunts, neighborhood garage sales that you coordinate, pictures with Santa at the park, things like that. And then we're going to talk about some ways that you can gain market share quickly. So, of course, every time a new home comes on the market in your farm, you should set up a search so that you get notified every time a new listing comes up in your farm. You should be the first one to preview it. You should be in there first. You've got to know the inventory. You've got to know the floor plans, the layouts. You've got to understand how if there's an HOA, what that looks like. Utilities. What is all that information, right? This is all key info that you have to have under your tool belt. So when you're having conversations with these sellers, you are extremely competent and know what they are talking about with their community. So add digital components to your farm for layered marketing, like maybe a Facebook group, okay, for your community or area, community blog. Maybe you add that onto the website. Social media ads that are targeted specifically to that zip code so that those in your farm see you digitally as well. Hashtags specific to your farm and area. Maybe your subdivision or community has hashtags. Go in and do that research on social media. Try to get into that algorithm. And then of course, every time a new homeowner moves in, deliver a welcome the neighborhood basket. This is, I thought, was an amazing idea. I think that it's great to, one, introduce yourself. They used most likely another agent to move into that home. However, you are the expert for that community. So if they have other people that are moving or they have referrals, you're the agent that stays in contact with them. It's all about out communicating the competition, which is a class that I have in July coming up. You have to out communicate. I guarantee you that the agent that sold them that house that they just moved into is no way going to communicate to them like you are about to communicate to your farm on a consistent basis. It's rare. We just don't do it as agents. Consistency, consistency, consistency is so critical in this business that a cool welcome to the neighborhood basket can immediately set you apart, but then now it's an introduction of what they're going to start receiving from you on a consistent basis. And of course, if there's an opportunity to sit an open house, you should do it. Whether it's your listing or not, call that agent. Hey, you know, I would love to, is there any way that I could sit in your listing an open house? Okay. And then follow the strategy to dominate like a rock star, which we just talked about, the 3 mailers for the first 3 months, and then it goes down to 2, your quarterly newsletter. You can, of course, adjust as you go. If you find that it's too much or too little, you can always adjust it that way so that you can match what's working in that area. So some geographic farm resources. So Rock Title is able to provide you with farm data packages. Things like mailing addresses, names, all that good stuff. Whether they're owner occupied, not owner occupied, VA loan, mortgages that are on the home, things like that. However you want to farm or choose a certain area, we can pull that data for you. Okay, so you're just going to reach out to your sales executive. You you don't know who that is, reach out to me. I'll make sure you guys get connected and we can pull that data for you so you can start kind of looking at that and getting it plugged into a CRM or a database that you can track. Those mailer templates are already available on rockuniversity.com as well as the monthly newsletter. So you already have pieces of material that you can easily start having sent or delivered to your farm. Again, doesn't have to be postage. It can be door knocking, you can have it delivered by another company, but those materials are already available. There's tons of other things that you can have sent there. I mean, there's things like the Altos market report that you can print or property profiles, things like that. The other thing I want to mention is something that kind of was a turning point for when I was farming high rises is I started to send in envelopes. Okay, it's a little bit more expensive because you have to pay for a stamp. Okay, however, it shifted in terms of people reaching out and filling out those property valuations. I had either a black envelope or it was a bright color. And everyone's going to open that, right? So if you send a postcard, they work. They absolutely work over time, consistency. You don't know really what the open rate is, but if you send an envelope that's addressed, even if it's a printed label, an envelope that's addressed that has an actual stamp on it, you are guaranteed that that's going to be opened, right? Looks like a letter. Certain tips and tricks there that you can kind of use. It's a little bit more pricey. Amazon, I used to get the envelopes from Amazon. They were pretty cheap. The biggest thing was just postage. But that is one way that you can kind of separate yourself from that mail. Okay. Core fact we talked about, I kind of showed you that. They have tons of different templates and stuff that you can use. I'm going to go back here to this. If you wanted to use Core Fact just for your past clients, they have a great seasonal series. Here's a summer one. Hello, summer. There's a Father's Day one, summertime. These were spring. We have 4th of July. Tons of cool ones. They're already designed. All you have to do is just enter your name, your photo. See, QR codes, summertime. Goes through the entire year. So you can ensure that your past clients always get something from you. Because essentially past clients you can farm as well, right? It's that consistency. So tons of designs on here. Yep, so it'll show you pricing, Lucinda, on here. So as soon as you check off what size you want, let's say we were going to go into this one. Based on size, this is the pricing here. So first class mail, of course, goes out a little bit quicker. You can have standard mail, depending on how many you're sending. This is 94 cents out the door, 85 cents out the door each. And then you choose a back design as well. Do know on these, you can see here that it says Mary Johnson at so-and-so address. That is automatically replaced with the homeowner's name and address. And this QR code is attached to that property. So when they scan this, it's going to automatically have their name and address populated. It just asks, verifies bedrooms and bathrooms. And then it goes through there. Okay, so it's very specific to the property. This map is updated to be a map of their area. So it's very local. Very, very local. Once you choose a back, I'm just going to walk through this with you guys. Summer farm postcard. This is your edit screen. You have to uncheck this little lock here. And then you can start editing things like this. If you want to type in something else, you can. All this is editable. This text, all that. The back. As soon as this updates. Maybe. My computer's freezing. Let me go back here. Try to do that again. There we go. So again, you just make sure your broker logos, all that stuff is there. You edit this if you wanted to. If I wanted to move that over, I'm just going to click that, hit contain, cover, you can move that over. Edit all this at what you want. Anything in the bracket stays because that will automatically be uploaded or added, homeowner info. I'm going to click continue. What's nice about this is there's a radius tool right here. So you can upload your own contact list, or you just use this radius tool. I'm just going to use a old address. So you have a starting point for the farm. Set target, has a radius tool here. How many ever you want to choose, or if you want to draw a custom shape. So you just wanted to farm this area. Do that there. We have 438 homes. You can break it down if you don't want condos or owner occupied properties, anything like that. You can change that out. Otherwise, you have 438 within this farm. It does require your own login and password. This is a completely separate tool. Yeah. Free though to sign up for, right? You only pay when you actually send these mailers. So you can save this list, and now you have your farm list automatically added on. Okay, so you can just easily go in there and grab your farm list. You have your total here, and you can just continue through the process to have those sent out. Again, I highly recommend CoreFact if you wanted to go that route, but we do offer templates if you wanted to go a little bit less expensive. You're going to have it hand delivered, or you're going to do EDDM or anything like that. You can always use our templates. The QR code generator we talked about, Altos Market Report we talked about, strong landing page and property valuation. We also talked about with HomeBot. If your website already contains a property valuation tool, I would just use that. Or you could purchase a custom domain that says desertridgehomevalues.com, and that just forwards directly to that landing page on your website. Okay, so consistency is the key takeaway out of all of this. You have to be consistent. Communicate consistently on a regular basis, and you have to commit to a longer term. So really, if you want to farm, if you want to implement that into your business, you really have to sit down, figure out what that cost looks like for you, what you're comfortable with, and really commit to that for 12 months. Look at that number, look at the time, right? Those two things, money, time, and decide, is 250 something that you can manage? Is 500 homes something that you can manage, right? Look at that and see if that's what you can do, and then commit to that. So farming is a long-term commitment, and consistency of connecting the people in your farm is key. Homeowners need to hear from you, see you, and receive information from you on a regular basis. Now, I will say this. Farming is amazing. It's a great tool. It works. It absolutely works when done correctly. Typically, when I meet with agents one-on-one, and when I was a sales manager, they would always bring up farming. And my question immediately was, where's your database? Okay. So before you jump in to farming or committing to this, I want to make sure that you have a database already set up for your past clients, your sphere, anyone that you've already done business with. And I want to make sure that they're getting communicated to on a regular basis, because that is the life of your business right now. Okay, farming will take time. It doesn't have to take a lot of time, but it will take time. But you need a solid foundation. Your database is your business's biggest asset for your long-term success in real estate. So before you commit to farming, just make sure that you are already communicating and using the resources available to you already, whether it's the postcards or the monthly newsletters that you get from Rock University, anything like that, make sure that they are getting communicated to on a consistent basis, and then add in this piece. Okay. I truly, truly, truly believe database and CRM is the most overlooked aspect in this business, yet it truly is your number one business asset. So you want to make sure that that's taken care of first. Questions? Comments? Feedback? Does it kind of make sense? Process of farming, consistency, information. Core Fact's great. I do love to always bring that up. It's a tool that I've used and had success with. It's you know, a tool that a lot of successful agents and farmers have incorporated in. And it kind of takes up, they even have a 12-month program where you choose your flyers for the next 12 months ahead of time, or your postcards ahead of time. And they go in and design stuff for you. It's a little bit more, it's like a few $100 or something for them to do that. They go in and brand it all to you, and then you don't even have to think about it. Every single month, those mailers are going out. Do I have a CRM? I recommend. So again, the whichever one you're going to use, but there are a few that I would. I mean, I think Lion Desk is a good one. If your brokerage offers you a CRM, which is Cinda, you've got Sync through OneSuite. I would utilize that. There's no reason to pay more money than you need to. Utilize a nice, robust CRM. So I would recommend doing that. But ultimately, you want to use one that you're going to use and be comfortable with, right? It's got to be user friendly. I even have successful agents that just do Excel, and I'm okay with that because it's something that they can take and put into MailChimp or take and put this, elsewhere. But it's manageable for them, but it gets done on a consistent basis. And we can talk more about that too, Lucinda. Yes, it'll be available. This is recorded. It will be available on Rock University. And of course, I'll send it out within the next 24 hours. Yeah, I can create a QR code. If you use a QR code directed to HomeBot, does it track who uses the QR code like Core Fact? So once they scan the QR code and it goes to that landing page and they actually enter in information, then it gets registered as a lead and you know who used the QR code. However, it's a little different than Core Fact because Core Fact will know when that QR code is scanned, and if they go to the website and not do anything, they still give you that information. They'll just say visited website. So Core Fact gives you a little bit more details. Of course, it's a little bit more expensive, but it will, I like to give you both options. Here's the easy button. Here's an easy way and a less expensive way. You just got to put in a little bit more work. Lucinda, you're awesome. Yeah, I can send you a Google link for a review. I appreciate that. I genuinely love helping agents and training. It's really what my passion is. So anything I could do to help in that realm. Kathy, I'll go ahead and get that QR code generated for you. So, is okay. We just use a HomeBot link or something like that. So whatever, maybe it's your address or your website address or something. Whatever the link is, you're going to grab that link, copy it. I'm just doing command copy on my keyboard. And then you're going to go to QR Code Monkey. There's other sites out there. This is the best premium one for free, so I recommend it. You see your URL here. You're going to paste it. Okay, just paste it in there. You can then change colors if you wanted to. So if you want to color it gradients like it is shown here, you can. You can change that to maybe your brand colors or anything like that. You can add a logo to it. It would show up here in the middle, just like it says here. Okay, if you wanted to add a logo, you could. But essentially, I just need this to scan to go to that URL. So colors is really the only thing that I change on here if I need to. I always go to the highest quality over, okay, 2000 by 2000. Click QR code. It now generated that QR code. So now when I scan this, with my phone, I click, it opens up that landing page. Okay, you download this PNG. You can add this to flyers. You can add this to mailers. You can add this to for sale signs. You can add this to sign right business cards. I would just not add it to things that people typically look at on their phone and can't scan. So certain social media posts, right? They can't really scan that with their phone. Add these QR codes to open house, sign in things like that. But you would just download that and then you can add it anywhere you'd like. Does that kind of help? Does anybody have any questions on just marketing in general? I mean, I know I don't really open it up, but is there anything that you maybe you've seen in an email or you have questions about, or just anything in general, marketing or branding related? Cool. Awesome, guys. Well, per usual, I will get this out to you in the next 24 hours with the resources and things that we talked about, along with the recording. If you haven't already, go make sure that you are part of our exclusive Facebook group. I put the link in there earlier, but you can just Rock University in Facebook and be able to get in there. We will be releasing things to that exclusive group first, just like the enhancements we did to Rock University for all of this information. If you haven't been here yet to check out the new VIP All Access backend with all the learning assets and things like that, take a look there. All previous recordings will be available. Next week, we are talking about list reports, I believe. Yes, we are. I can use that in your business and marketing. So that'll be a great one. And if you are in Las Vegas, I will be there Tuesday. We're doing a training there in person. So hopefully I'll get to see you there. We're doing some YouTube marketing training there. So Rebecca, can you send me an email directly? Justin@roctitle.com, Justin@roctitle.com. And I will make sure that you get connected with them. I hope today you got at least one gold nugget out of the training, something that you can take and implement into your business. I really appreciate you guys joining us for another training. And we will see you all next week. I hope you guys have a great weekend. Lori, I will be in Green Valley. I'll be at the Green Valley one. And it's open, so you can go check it out.
Great. I'll see you there.
Perfect. I love it.
Thanks, Justin.
My pleasure. Thanks, Lori. Bridget, I'll send this. I always send the recordings out within 24 hours after the training. I kind of compile an email of just like bullet points of things that we talked about. So I'll include the recording. Plus, it'll be available on Rock University under VIP All Access in the video library. Awesome, guys. We'll see you next week. Have a great weekend.